Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Madison, Wisconsin woke up this morning in agony after a school shooting the week before the holidays left at least 2 dead, several others hurt. It happened at the Abundant Life Christian School on Monday. Still waiting to find out more about the motive. Lee Waldman is in Wisconsin and has more.
Don't let that soak in for a minute. A second grade student called 911 at 10:57 a.m. to report a shooting at school.
It's the 83rd school shooting in the U.S. so far this year, according to CNN analysis of events reported by the Gun Violence Archive Education Week and Everytown for Gun Safety. The shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin, rocking the community to its core.
It's sad, to be home and then somebody call you and say your kids' school in down and shooting and you didn't know where they are.
The alleged shooter, 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, who police say went by Samantha, shot herself and died. Police say the teen's parents are cooperating with law enforcement at this time.
To my knowledge, I'm not aware that we have had any issues with her. I think if there were, we certainly would have had some type of intervention, but I'm not aware of that. But again, that's part of the investigation.
The shooting happened inside a classroom in a study hall of students from mixed grades. Police say Rupnow used a 9mm handgun. As law enforcement works to piece together this investigation, the community tries to rally in prayer for the victims and survivors left scarred.
I was scared. Why did they do that? Why?
In Madison, Wisconsin, Lee Waldman reporting.
Closer to home, the city of Norfolk moving on from 3 high-level suspended officers in their department, but it's going to cost them. Norfolk City Council Monday unanimously approved settlements with former police chief Don Miller and former officers Chad Ryman and Josh Bauermeister. The settlements follow a months-long investigation into what city officials have only said publicly is the department's workplace culture. But no specific allegations of wrongdoing have come to light, and each officer admits no wrongdoing in the settlements, which carry an overall price tag of over $800,000. Reaction to the settlements mixed among public commenters, with some accusing the city of a bad faith investigation, while members of the current Norfolk Police Division say since the suspensions, things have never been better.
From the beginning, the city government had their minds made up without ever giving the officers the chance to give their side of the story.
Today, I know the culture is strong. It's moving forward positively, and we've had great growths on commitment.
And I heard you say, oh, we will get them. We just have to go through the process.
That's not true.
That is true 100%.
That is a lie.
That is true.
As a community, we'll get through this.
The division is ready to move forward, and the changes that have already been implemented has made our work environment drastically better.
Captains Mike Bauer and Brian Ty have been running the police department in the interim. No word yet on who will be permanently named Norfolk's police chief. Across the nation, cities and towns have experienced frequent turnover in police leadership. It's a trend that's accelerated since 2020 amid growing calls for police accountability. Our Casey Wannenberg spoke with Valentine's new police chief about his vision for the department and the ongoing challenges of recruiting officers.
Coffee with a Cop gives people in Valentine a chance to connect with their local officers, including the town's new police chief.
I'm excited for the opportunity.
Jamin Slama steps into the role after former Chief Dana Miller resigned to take a different law enforcement position. Slama has served as an officer for 26 years, including 2 decades in Valentine.
I was on the night shift for most of the last 20 years. You don't see me in the daytime. You probably can't pick me out if you haven't met me at night.
The new police chief says his first priority will be recruiting new officers. The department should have 6 officers, but right now only has 4.
We have been short-staffed for years now. I feel good knowing it's not just us, it's every police department in the state, and every state across the country is having a hard time.
From social media posts to bonuses, the department has already tried several strategies. The newest idea? During last week's Valentine City Council meeting, members talked about hiring an officer dedicated to code enforcement, building permits, and animal control.
Police work, good police work, can be fun. Even if it's not fun, it can still be rewarding.
A rewarding job and a new opportunity for Slama to connect with people in the community. In Valentine, Casey Winneberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
A new era of city government, meanwhile, is here for a central Nebraska town with 5 newly elected members hitting the ground running. At the Hastings City Council meeting Monday, new Mayor Jay Beckby took the oath of office, replacing departed mayor of 8 years, Corey Stute. 4 new city council members also took the oath: Brian Hoffman, Maggie Esch, Larry Consbrook, and Michael Anderson. They didn't ease into their new roles, the council wasting little time approving several local items of business. Mayor Beckby now has the job of leading the city and working together with city government to unite a new combination of city council members. He says unity will be key to operating a successful unit.
I'm probably most excited to, just bring the city and the city council and the city government together and really make common sense decisions that benefit the citizen. And you utilize the people around you. You're only as good as the people around you, and rely on that as your strength. And that's what I have. I have a good set of people around me.
Mayor Beckby and the council also confirmed the reappointment of the city administrator, treasurer, attorney, and engineer, plus a new city clerk. The Hastings City Council meets bi-weekly on Mondays. Grand Island's Public School Board of Education held an executive session to discuss the future of their superintendent. Matt Fisher had previously been working on an interim basis. He had that title removed last year. And during their latest meeting, Fisher's contract was up for discussion to be extended for an additional year beginning next July.
Item 11.2, approve the superintendent's contract. I would entertain a motion at this time.
I make a motion to approve the superintendent's contract.
Second by Ms. Albers. Discussion? Seeing none, may proceed to a vote. Motion passes.
Meanwhile, the Hastings School Board using a national search firm to help find their next superintendent. Hastings Public Schools announcing Monday that McPherson and Jacobson will be assisting in selecting the candidates. At their meeting last week, the board created a list of 6 skills and characteristics they're looking for in the next superintendent. Consultants hired by the district will be hosting a community input forum next month. The board will select their finalists by the end of January and hope to make their hire by February 6th. The district replacing Jeff Schneider, who's retiring after serving in the role since 2019. Well, after a lengthy uncertainty for residents, homeowners, and those leasing a place for their summer retreats at the lake, they can all have a collective resolution. Legislation finally made its way through the U.S. Senate, allowing local officials to take control of Swanson and Red Willow reservoirs in southwest Nebraska. The Bureau of Reclamation had plans to reshape those areas, which would have forced businesses and people who lived there out of the concession areas. The bill passing the Senate despite being blocked twice over the weekend. Now, Hitchcock and Frontier counties are responsible for owning and maintaining the land of these state recreation areas. And finally, if you're traveling during the holidays, it's important to know what you can and cannot bring on board. And if you're traveling with kids, well, there are plenty of resources to help you get through the airport. Jen Sullivan breaks down the do's and don'ts for holiday travelers.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, but if you're traveling, the holiday season can bring unwanted headaches. And there will be a record number of travelers on the road and in the skies. AAA is expecting more than 119 million people to travel 50 miles or more between Saturday, December 21st and Wednesday, January 1st. Nearly 8 million people will fly, so expect long lines.
If you are checking a bag, I would get to the airport at least 2.5 hours early.
If you need assistance getting through security, and this includes young families, you can request help 72 hours ahead of your trip by filling out a TSA Cares assistance form. People who need assistance and families with kids under 2 can typically board first.
Usually the first people to get called are people who need more time to board.
What happens if your family isn't sitting together?
The gate agent is going to make that change automatically because they're going to see that minors are sitting separately from their guardians.
Many airports also have family restrooms, nursing stations, and even kid play areas to make it easier for families. And parents can bring breast milk and/or formula greater than 3.4 ounces on board. If you're bringing gifts on the plane, the TSA recommends putting them in gift bags instead of wrapping them in case the item needs to be inspected. Gifting a snow globe, if it's bigger than a tennis ball, it likely has more than 3.4 ounces of liquid and needs to be checked. Solid foods like fruitcake, chocolate, and candy canes can all go on board. Items like wine and even maple syrup need to be checked. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the news tab there. You can also follow us on X. Like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.